You're probably wondering why I'm so dressed up. I just had to dress up so that I could tell you about a most delightful, which is a fancy word for cute, book that I wanted to share with you. This book is called Fancy Nancy by Jane O'Connor. You probably can't see it, but even the cover has sparkles on it. The illustrations by Robin Priest Glasher are so charming. Just look at this cute picture. This is why this book is under the genre of a picture book. This is Nancy's room after she made it look spectacular, which is a fancy word for fancy. She also wears lace-trimmed socks to play soccer in because everyone knows lace-trimmed socks make you a much better soccer player. But Nancy has a problem. She is the only one in her family who is fancy. One day she has a stupendous idea, which is a fancy word for great. Maybe she could teach her family how to be fancy. So she makes up a poster and puts it on the fridge. Learn to be fancy with lessons from Nancy. Soon there was a knock on her door. Her family had seen the ad and they wanted to start right away. The problem was her family didn't have any fancy clothes. So Nancy goes to her room and brings back all the accessories that her family would need. They all get dressed up and Mom decides that, well, since they look so fancy, they need to go somewhere fancy. And Dad thinks, well, what about dinner at the King's Court? Because that sounds kind of fancy, even though it was a pizza place. So they all went out to dinner, all dressed up. They even were eating with their pinkies, just so. Look how excited right here that Nancy is, that her family would do that. That's what I loved about this book. They loved and supported their daughter. They weren't fancy, but Nancy was. It didn't mean that Nancy was dumb or stupid or weird. It just meant she was Nancy. She was fancy Nancy. Isn't that what family is all about? Loving and supporting each other? I love books that have a moral, that can teach our children and our grandchildren lessons of life in a most endearing and fun way. I love reading this to my little granddaughters, after, of course, we get all dressed up in our fancy clothes. Hope you enjoy this as much as I did. Thanks for watching. Bye.